Hello everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of that vlog, which hopefully it's uploading at the minute. It's going to take about half an hour, so to speak, and chances are once this is edited, you've already seen it. So if you haven't seen it, you should see in the title there's a bracket and it says part 2. Stop, don't read this bit, you need to watch the first bit with the 1 and the bracket. Go and watch that one now. I'll link the description below. Or, no, I'll just send it. I'll put a link below. That'll be kind of save on the description writing process. But I don't really write much for the blogs. Anyway, I'm getting off topic again. I need to stay on topic. I was supposed to cover 3 things, but once again they turned into 8 things. 8 on camera. 8 things. So, 2 things I need to get through. The schedule and hello, Brighton. Okay, the schedule. I finally bought Cobalt. I bought Cobalt. I'm looking at the schedule now because, like I said, previous video, memory of a sieve. Cobalt I have purchased on my Mojang account, so I haven't gotten around the gameplay. I'm sorry. I know I promised to do more other Mojang games to make it Mojang Mondays, but I haven't got around to it. But it's purchased, so you're probably going to get that Minecraft video that just failed to upload. What day is it today? Sunday, so tomorrow. And Cobalt next week. I've already talked about Tuesday Agatha Christie, so I won't go into that. Wednesday, Wildstar Wednesday. Recording starting either tomorrow or Tuesday, and I'll try to get it edited out for Wednesday. I'll try. I'll promise you I'll try. If I can't, well, next Wednesday. But that's gonna. So looking forward to that. And once again, thank you, Cracker Jacks. Couldn't do it without you. Okay. For quick play, as you remember, I was just going to do like multiplayer stuff and just cram it together. I bought Battlefield 4 so I can do more footage of that. And sometime during the week, I don't know when, it's probably going to be on Saturdays. I'm going to, or maybe even, well, no, it'll be Saturdays. I'm going to upload some of the Battlefield 4 campaign, and I'll try my best, my utmost best, not to have any more. I'll use white toilet paper this time, I think. Copyright flags. Well, not flags, I mean copyright IDs. And I've just wasted toilet paper. Oh well. I also need to find another game that I can just... I mean, it's not just going to be... It's going to be any old game. I may do some of my... Well, I've covered in free-to-play Fridays again. I may just push that in and you can just see me doing little bits and pieces on the multiplayer, or some games which I just enjoy doing and just, well, I'll bash that out. Oh damn, poor choice of words. I'll put that out there. I'll put myself out there. Is that better choice of words? Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, carrying on. Free-to-play Fridays. Oh, I've already done some footage, and it's a 3-parter, simply because there was a lot of footage, and it's a strange, quirky sort of and gug. Well, no, not coffee, more of a alcoholic beverage sort of game. A lot of fisticuffs and drinking, and I'll give you a clue. The this is very fortunate. I just happen to have a hat here from my sister's room because, well, I'll give you a clue. It's all about collecting hats. And, this would be a decent cowboy hat if it didn't have a flippin' tiara on it, I've got to say. I mean, I don't know why you have to girlify it. It would have been fine without the tiara on. Like the colour, I'm a little bit iffy about the rim. Why am I talking about a hat that's not even mine? No interest in that. But it's about hats. And then there's Penny. Oh, Penny. Oh, that came out a bit creepy Batman-ish there. Oh, speaking of delightful young ladies, as you know, in the last video, something fell off. One of the games fell off down here, hit my foot, and went, foot's alright now. It's just badly bruised, but it's because, well, it's difficult to, back and forth, it's difficult for me to sit down, because I keep banging my leg against her down here. I mean, she sits there on the floor nice and perfectly, near my legs. I just wish she would do something. I'm talking, of course, not about my girlfriend that lives underneath the desk. I am talking about the computer tower, my own machine. She's back, she's here, she's not hooked up. I am toying with the idea whether she'll be over here or down there, or I don't really like her down there because I keep bashing my knee against her every time I sit down. I don't want to damage her. I don't even know why I'm calling it a her and why I call my new one a him. I don't know. My new machine, I don't know. The new machine, let me just toggle you off. Come with me. And no, I can't sing that because I'm going to get ID'd for that as well. No, I like singing. I mean, come on, look at that. That looks like a he, doesn't it? I mean... Ooh, I'm sorry. That looks like a big bad off he. And look at that! Look at that! I've got a LED screen, so I can tell how the CPU's doing, the temperature, even what time it is. Which is pretty good because I can't be bothered to put the batteries back in that clock. Anyway, scoot you down. Down here. There's her. Oh no, a bit further down. Her. Multimedia computer system. And I don't know, that looks a bit more like a her. Maybe. That bit there just to light up. You know, just purely decorative purposes. Don't know why anyone would want to light up a logo. But I know an Aurora. Aurora sounds like a girl's name. So, Obsidian and Aurora. She's a bit of a old girl. It's not the oldest computer I've got, but we used to have an Amstrad. And the games we used to have on the Amstrad. My dad used to like programming games in for me to play when I was younger. And we used to... It was this Postman Pat game. And completely black screen, little green pixels. And you had to deliver mail, so you had to go with Jess, and you had to deliver mail, put it through the letterbox, but you get attacked by these ravenous bushes. And with ladders and slides, and Pat could have a little flick of his wrist and he could throw a letter and he could cut a bush in half, and that was fun. Get a pair of shears and go, and then bonus buy, pick up Jess, throw Jess the cat, and it would all the bushes would run away and you would have invincibility and you could walk through bushes unharmed. I remember personally that there was a special bonus gift in which you would get a Postman Pat with a shotgun and shoot these bushes, because later on in the game the post boxes could stand up and walk away from you, even walking into the layer of the bushes to stop you delivering the mail. And oh crap, it's 10 o'clock. It's not 10 o'clock yet. I meant to say, damn it, it's 10 minutes in and I'm already rambling. Anyway, moving on to... I really need... You know, we went to a Lego store in Brighton. I didn't buy any products because I kind of spent a little bit too much on other things, which I'll get to in a minute. So, Lego, you will pay sooner than later, or something like that. The trouble is, I can't just go into a store and buy something. I need a system. A system that... I mean, Lego had a system. They brought the system into the toy industry. So I need to bring a system into my video industry. Yeah, with my editing team of little talking mice that I pay with bits of rice. Why rice? Why not? The Geek Craft Sundays, I really need to have another proper conversation with Renji, because I've been holidaying and I haven't, and he can't go to Comic-Con anymore. It's just like, Renji, Batish! But he's had problems with FedEx, so... Yeah. FedEx, you stopped my mic going to Comic-Con. And, so, schedule out the way, that was quick. Now let's talk about Brighton! And... this is probably going to be the bit that's going to drag out the video. So train down, and it was I had a conflict of the heart again, because travelling down and it was quiet. I know what you're thinking. You like quiet, and I do like quiet, but I like socialising with people. And I was bored out of my mind. But then, of course, people came on the train, further down the train, and it got a bit more livelier, and then I sort of wish it was quiet again. I remember Crackerjack saying, if I ever went back in time and speak to myself, we have big arguments. Well, I was thinking, if I went back in time, maybe I would just go back to this morning, because I would tell myself, set your bloody alarm and get up in the morning. I mean, I set my alarm for 4:30, give me plenty of time to eat my breakfast, plenty of time to have a shower, because I didn't have a shower, so I'm terribly sorry I stunk to high heaven out in Brighton. I mean, I didn't even brush my teeth. I had to scoff myself with mints all day, hoping to Lordy you didn't smell how bad my breath was. No, I sort of went, oh, just turn off the alarm. And then, of course, I wake up and I'm like, my dad kicked down my door. I'm surprised it hasn't come off the hinges yet, saying, you're late, god damn it, you're late. And I thought, well, I'm not the only one who overslept then. But it's like, oh, but I'm not the one catching the train. Oh, but anyway, I was like, oh my god, what if I missed the train? I know something about leaving it, the train leaves at 7, oh no, what am I going to do? Of course, I decided to ring up the organiser, because I'm sorry, but I was terrified that you would leave without me, or you would get worried, or chances are you were already at the train station, like going, oh, where is he? What's this you think he's playing at? So I'm like, hello? So, pick up the Avinator 500 and we get to the train station, and on the train, I saw something interesting, something really peculiar. I was looking out the window, and we passed, through the fields and saw a cemetery. And I wanted to say something at the time, but unfortunately, you guys moved through the conversation faster than Usain Bolt runs 100 meters. I doubt you would have paid any attention to me, and if you did, you would have not listened to me that long, and I would have been talking off into the ether, and then you would have moved on to something else. So I decided to keep that for this blog. Blog's not vlog, it's a vlog. And it was odd because it was like a cross-path cemetery, and instead of rolling the graves, like you would expect rolling them backwards and forwards, they only had them lining the paths, literally lining the paths, with the graves like this going dun 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 dun. And I was thinking to myself, who on earth would, create a cemetery like that? It's almost as if when the coffin bearers take the coffin, they don't want the undertakers don't want them to go on the grass, because they'll ruin the perfectly crisp grass. So they expect them to go roll down the path, and when the grave diggers dig the grave, they must only be allowed to stand on one side of the path, and they're sort of going, probably have some sort of strange scooping motion, scythe that goes, and then I don't know, what do they do? Just throw the coffin in and hope for the best, and maybe lean over and scoop the dirt back in. It was just so odd. I've never seen a cemetery when the gravestones are lined up so close to the path. What are they hoping when we have the apocalypse and the zombies rise up? They'll be so British they won't want to stand on the lovely green grass and just hop on the path, just so the undertaker can shoot them down and have the bullet fly through all the heads at once, like dun 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 dun. All done and dusted. I don't think life works out like that. Well, I hope it never does. I don't want an apocalypse, let me tell you. I don't want a zombie one either. I don't care what people say. It would be freedom. I don't like the idea of my friends suddenly getting bitten and craving to eat me to pieces. I mean, who would want to eat me to pieces? I'm all fat. No muscle. No delicious protein on me at all. Anyway, our conversations, you guys are really hard to keep up with, because literally, if anyone who's watching this video went to Brighton, I got lost after 50 Shades of Grey, literally, because you went from one thing to the other, to the next, to this, to that, to this, and oh, good grief. It's like your tongues, you've got like a forked tongue, and it's like a pair of little legs, and you tap dancing on your teeth, and you knock out a little tune. But like tap dancing, it's very quick, and you can't keep track of it, and it's like, what on earth are you talking about? I ended up stringing half the conversations together, and I'm like, this is just... Times like this, what do we do? Okay, brain switches off. What happens when brain... I went to sleep. I'm sorry, I went to sleep. My brain just twitched off. I wasn't even tired. I just went, I can't be. Does that make me rude? Maybe it does. But I just can't keep up with fast conversations. I'm a boring old fart before his time. Got to Brighton. And... No, it would have been nice if we were all coherently together, but everyone went this way and that way and forwards and backwards. Over the... it wasn't the Irish Sea, North Sea, English Channel. Brighton's on the east coast? Well, where is Brighton? Let me just double check. Oh, Brighton is on the south coast, so... Some people run this way, that way, forwards and backwards. So for the English Channel, God, that's a bloody mouthful. With a tumbler of whiskey to fill my tum, and that's the life for me. Hey! All split up, looked around the shops, and you know what? A really weird mixture of shops I've never been... There's few places I've been where everything and anything that you can find is on this street. It was like Portobello Road from Bedknobs and Broomsticks, where anything and everything that a chap can unload. Literally anything that anyone could sell you can find in the lanes. You just need to know where you look because it's a crisscross of alleyways and small roads and public footpaths only. Went in a few antique shops. I mean, Cracker Jacks really wanted a typewriter. And I think there's something between the ones with wands and not wands. Wands, I'm not saying wands, yes, magical typewriters with wizarded wands that goes out Expelliarmus and pushes away the owner from the antique shop and they don't have enough money. God, then every shop will want one and we would never be allowed to browse. We'd be like going back to Victorian shops when you had to know what you wanted to buy or get out the shop. Very unfriendly. Thank God for Selfridges. Anyway, I saw this gorgeous gramophone player, 1920s wind up. I think it was working. I think it was a restoration. Didn't have the proper metallic bell. It was a brass one instead. But a little. I've always wanted a gramophone. A little ping in my heart when a little bell went ding ling 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 ling. Well, £65 and it was huge. And I didn't buy it because thinking about it, I mean, I'm worse for impulse buys. See something I really want, I'm like, oh, I mean, I bought this bottle of brown ale for an impulse buy, and you're probably thinking, why? Well, this bottle is one of the few bottles of brown ale which, I mean, if you still got it, was actually still made in Newcastle at the Newcastle Town Brewery. So this is from Newcastle. And you're probably thinking, well, aren't they all from Newcastle? No. They recently kept the name. Well, no, back in 2005, they were moving the factory to somewhere further south to a spring because there's like restrictions when it comes to spring waters in the city. And with all the horrible chemicals, this probably tastes pretty rough compared to how it tastes now, which is a lot more smoother and cleaner. I mean, I had a bottle of this when it used to be made in Newcastle, and it was a bit stodgy. Now the one that's made further south is a lot more nice, a lot more cleaner. It's gone from being, a drink that's a bit on the taste to a drink that's a bit quite nice. Wonderful, half an hour. We're nearly done. And then we went to the beach. Oh, the shingles, so nice. They retain the heat so well. It was nice and comfy, just let it mould to your shape. I actually prefer shingles now than sand. And, one or two beverages. And we went up to the pier, arcade games. At the end, there's a fun fair with like roller coasters and log flumes, and there's like a ghost chain. Ghost chain. This big metal thing with one note. Ghost train. Didn't go on any of them because I don't know, I like rides, but I have a thing against rickety old roller coasters on a rickety old pier which is above some lovely splashing waves. I wanted to go on one ride, but Davinator convinced me, look, Sid, these are far too expensive for you to spend your money on. And I was like, you know what, Davin? You're right. Hey, I got the clicking right. Oh no, that's my bone cracking. Anyway, then we went to a harvester. We had to wait an hour, but I don't know, it was like waiting for a bus. We just went jibber, 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 jabber. Sat and you know what? It's not the best harvester in the world. It was a bit meh. Why? I don't know. It may have something to do with that the food wasn't exactly up to par. I love mixed grills, but you can rarely find a restaurant that does it good. And if they can't cook a sausage properly, you've got no hope in hell. The rest of it was alright. But everlasting salad that looks healthier than the rest of the meals there's something going wrong. And of course, oh god, there's something wrong with the toilets. There was something wrong with the toilets. It's like went in there. Like Claudio said, it was like the sinking Titanic. They had buckets in there, it's like they were bailing out of the water, like, the urines are flooding the toilets, I know what to do, we won't turn off the water, we'll just go bail, and bail the water against the wall. It'll clean the tiles, won't get rid of the water, but it'll clean the tiles. I wish someone decided to bail into one of the cubicles. God, that cubicle. It was like, it's like someone walked into it while they had the shit with the trousers down, while they had the shit growing out of their bottom, creating like a monkey tail, and then they sort of picked it up one hand, swing it around, and just repeatedly keep hitting it with the hitting onto the stalls because we had shit across the stalls, and they were, I don't know, it's like they sat on the loo with a big thump, like went, created like a nuclear explosion of shit, and just turned the lovely white porcelain bowl black, well, brown. But it was, and I was like, I need a shit, but I'm not going in there. So it's like, don't step on the crack or you fall and slip on the wet floor and drown while your neck is broken. That's how bad it was. So it was trying to step around the puddles, a nice cubicle, and I was like, legs up, and go, this is very uncomfortable, but at least my shoes aren't getting soaked. Should be Olympic sport, trying to take a shit while doing aerobics. Then, of course, when I go and tell them that the toilet is dirty, it's like, oh, but we're busy. We'll do it when we can. Well, I would do it now because you're getting drunken customers going in there going, oh, fuck, this stinks. And I'm not coming back here. You're losing good customers. Drunken customers, but customers nonetheless. Then when we went to the bar, I don't know, the barman seemed a bit hammered, and he was going like, oh, who are you? Oh, is that you? Are you? He was on another planet, pretty sure he was stoned, and he was hungover or something. You know, he tried to give me Strongbow. You know, they do this in pubs. You ask for a particular cider that's better than that piss water, and they're like, oh yeah, sure. I know you can see I'm pouring it from a Strongbow tap, but it's actually what you ordered, and we need to really shift this cider because nobody likes the damn thing. Man, but no, I pointed out to him, and then I made him. I don't care if that pump was closed. That was not what I ordered. So go down to the other side of the flippin' bar and pour out what I wanted. I wasn't that mean with him. I was a little bit flexible, but that's what I was saying in my head. Should have been a bit more oomph. And I don't know, I think I was a bit grotty with him constantly because he forgot to even hit a 500 change. He forgot to do this, he forgot to do that. You know, I was almost terrified when we came back on the train that he nicked IDs. Fortunately, it was just in a different section of the wallet, which I don't normally put things in. Then we had the waiter. You know, I praised the waiter for remembering all the food. Then he came back several times. He was like, "Oh, did you order?" And he wants to know why I was getting snappy. Because service was terrible. We're not going there again, right? Next time, we're going to get fish and chips somewhere. Because, like I said, service was meh. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. But the only way that it would get any worse is if one of us got food poisoning, or something climbed out of the sewagey deep of that brown toilet of Titanic that we were standing in. I've sat in bus station toilets that were a higher standard than that swamp that they called a gents. Ugh. Still sickens me now when I think about it. Anyway, all in all, it was a good day. And even though that harvester may be a harvester designed to kill its victims so they can harvest their, no pun intended, their organs, well, no pun intended, it's fun. I would recommend it to anybody. And if I was you, go to Brighton. The shopping is fantastic. I think the next time I go, or when we go as a group of friends, we need to look in the pavilion. Anyway, this ran on a little bit longer once again than I ever planned. And so this is Sidious Obsidian and Sydney's signing off. Goodbye!